Yes, good morning, people, good morning. You know who it is. It's a Red Shot BlackStar, and I am very grateful and thankful for being here today. May the Most High bless me and bless you all also, and bless the entire universe, the entire world, all the earthling people. Well, people, once more time again, you know, it's the Red Shot BlackStar, and again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, which is the only channel where you could go and electrify your mind, your soul, and your body. Yes, people. So, stimulus checks. Stimulus checks. People, be mindful. Stimulus checks. People, this pandemic, didn't it affect everybody? Didn't it affect all Americans, all West Indians, all sorts of people? I say people because I'm the earthman. It affects the people, the earthling people, the universal people. This pandemic affect stimulus checks. So now, it's only a certain people will be qualified to receive. But then again, if one is gracious, and if one is thinking graciously, then one will do gracious things to be gracious unto the people. The entire global suffer this pandemic or epidemic, should I say epidemic, the whole entire world. And if I was a government, a part of the government, a prime minister, a president, whatever, and I felt the sufferation of the people, I would make it that all those within my border, within my country, something will do. Because there are people who falls in different category. And there are people that would not be able to qualify, but that does not mean that they didn't suffer. These are some of these people that lose their loved ones. These are some of the people that doesn't have any work. They probably work off the books. Now I know it's better man work than he steals or he robs. So if I was the government and I knew, yes, if no, we was cracking down and this, that, and the other, but yet still, I would more look to remove the filth before this. It's a man. I know this person is here. They are not causing any problems, and in due course time, I will deal with them on a certain order and a certain principle. But that would not be my first priority. But there are people who lives right here in the United States of America and all over the world. They are citizens of the earth, but the laws and rules and regulations of mankind make them to become not citizens of the earth, because you can't be in a country and say you didn't need documents, which I believe that the earth is the fullness and the fullness thereof. I think that we are citizens of the earth, and this is why I doesn't discuss where people from and this and that, because I still watch this. The most I allow me to see this as divide and conquer. If you realize and you watch most people, they always try to put their country or they wherever they're from above or other and pretend that other person doesn't exist. So once again, people, stimulus checks, a lot of people will be suffering and still suffering and gonna be still suffering, because it will only be a certain amount of people which that may get money out of all this money, and that's maybe if that's all that money gonna dish out. Who knows? But like I said, people will be suffering because there are people right here who's not on the government payroll, which is not on the government books. There are people like the malls. You see, because someone is a mall and I did not consider or require a stimulus check, or someone is not, so again, there you go, you gotta be plugged in. If you're not plugged in, you're not gonna get anything. And this is just like, again, things will get more difficult in time to come. With this chip that's going around now, the size of a rice grain, you could see that the Antichrist is here, and you could see the life within living in these places, in these cities, and in these countries. It will be dreadful amongst the heathen. You will notice that a lot of things people will say it's for the better, but actually it's a trap to actually buy your soul and get you on the order of the Illuminati or the Antichrist. Yeah, all these things gonna fall into place. So things will be difficult. Things gonna get more difficult. So when you figure it's the good, it's not the good, because you hear a lot of people here, okay, the government gonna be giving money out and they're all feeling happy, not knowing that a lot of them will not see a penny or dime from this. And a lot of them is suffering and has go through suffering, tribulation, lose loved ones and stuff like that, and no work right now, because a lot of places is actually out of business, man. This is collapsation right there now. This is just plunging head over heels, man. So a lot of people doesn't have a job to go back to. A lot of people doesn't have a job to go back to. A lot of companies right there, that's it. But then it's only a certain amount of people that will get what they gotta get, and then a certain amount of people on a lower level will be suffering more and even a little bit more. Okay, people? So don't believe that stimulus check. It really cuts out for all of us, because some of us it doesn't consider. And like I said, if I was a president in my country, face a disaster, a pandemic or epidemic like that, and I was going to do something, I would set it for, if you was a resident or you had an address, you live in America for a certain amount of years, or in my country in a certain amount of years, certain amount of time, you have an address. You might not be a citizen, but you have an address where you live. You living by the rules and regulation. Yeah, something would come for you, because in that time, it's a time that everybody need. There are people that usually they are not, they doesn't have papers, or they maybe have papers, but there's some type of issues is going on, and but at the meantime, they does not depend on the government. They try to see what they could do. Some people, they do whatever they. There are people who collect cans. There are people who do the construction, low stuff off the books. And a lot of people live here, and they live independently on their own. They don't get anything from the government, and people like that will not get anything when these people actually, they does the work that the average person, or the average person with documents, or the average American, or the average person will not want to do. You may find a few Americans or a few people who might want to do it, but this is why that subject comes back to the same Spanish and the Latino people that comes here. As you see, we're gonna get a very hard blow on our farms, and where, like Florida, the oranges, the apples, the this, the that. These people work, and they work real fast. They work real fast and hard, and they don't really complain. Majority of us could work hard, but we complain. And we want what's due first. We ain't gonna want nobody to underpay us. So we're gonna say they're gonna have a problem unless they have the idea to the point where they're gonna have robots and stuff doing the same type of work, and work 10 times faster than the average Spanish. So they have things in their order and how they do their things. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about. But at the meantime, stimulus check, I say, people, those of you who probably depended on it, don't get mad if you don't get it. Don't get upset if you don't get it. Don't start going crazy, burning down the place if you don't get a stimulus check. Okay? Because it didn't cut out for majority of us. So like I said, if I was a president, which I'm not, but of the divine vine, I would say, this is what I would set it away, that a lot of people, there's places that people could go and get things, just for that little bad time, just because of that moment of suffering, people trying to survive. I would just have it where, you have an address, you're living somewhere, ID, as long as you have an ID, it could be expired or not expired, but that still link you to an address, that still link you to where you live, you know, you would get something, because at this time everybody needs something, you know, and you can't just be picking and choosing. Or yeah, because you know, like I said, we all the citizens of the earth, and we all suffer, and we all feel pain, and we all go for tribulation in this pandemic. So I'm just saying, to my knowledge, to my understanding, that's what I would do for the people. If you're for the people, you would organize places that they could go, and they could get food, and they could get, just for the little town, so that people get back on their feet, for people to get back on their feet. You know, that's why I was watching something about France. And in France, if you go to the hospital, you spend 2 weeks a month. When you're going home, they pay a cab for you, and they give you a little money that you could end up getting a little boost, maybe to buy a little food. And they know. So sometimes I say, if you're working with the people, your country, your whatever you're doing with will rise. Then you stand firm. Together we stand, divided we fall. If you're doing for the people, then the people will be, because the people are the majority. And these leaders, majority of times, they forget that it's the people that's the majority. So once again, people, on a done now, the Red Shot BlackStar, peace and blessings, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you again. And if I have said anything wrong on my own account, and it's a problem, or it causes a problem unto the people, may the Most High forgive my sins, and more, may the Most High guide me and protect me. But if what I have said, it's a benefit unto the ones who rules, and unto the ones with power, unto the leaderships, then I say, peace and blessings. All praises unto the Most High. Blessed.